Hello, everyone, and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, you can call me Palpatine because I found us a nice Empires War game to watch. Now, for those not familiar with what Empire Wars is, it is a version, I guess, of the random map with a few, as you can see, starting differences. Before we dive into the players, before we dive into the civs, a very brief overview of what Empire Wars actually is. As you can see at the bottom right, you start the game in feudal age with a bunch of infrastructure. I'm talking about a town center as usual. You have a mining camp, you have a mill, and you should have 1, 2, 3 lumber camps. Now you also have 6 houses, and militarily you have a barracks to start with, as well as a blacksmith. So only one structure away from going up to castle once you have the requisite resources. Now, in terms of units, you start with the usual scout, but instead of 3 villagers, you start with 27. 4 of them are on gold, 12 of them are on wood, 8 up here, 4 down here. 2 of them are on farms, 4 are on berries, and then you've got a bunch of lazies ready to slaughter a sheep around the town center, 6 of them. Now, resources are your standard resources: 200 food, 200 wood rather, 200 food, 100 gold, and 200 stone, plus whatever civilizational bonuses you have. So, example, Sicilians would get 100 extra stone, Lithuanians 150 extra food, etc. Now, because the map starts in feudal and because it is open, meaning that there is nowhere to be seen a single palisade, this basically invites early feudal aggression. So these kinds of games, because they start, they quote unquote hit the ground running and there's no wall off to start in the game, a lot of early game aggression. Now, of course, as I say that, the players might want to hunker down and go to fast castle, but in general, there's a lot of aggression that happens earlier on. One quick note is that these are, I don't know if the players pick these civs, Japanese and Tatars, but these are 2 civs with early game bonuses. So the Tatars with their beefier herdables, the Japanese with their cheaper, resource gathering structures, the lumber camps, the mining, the mill, all 50% off. So their advantages in Dark Age are nullified, which means that I don't know why the players spawn these 2 civs, if it's just a matter of luck or if they actually chose them for that purpose so that one player does not have an advantage over the other. But in any event, let's dive right in and see what the heck happens here. Nili, playing as the red Japanese, prepares to take on GL..KEN. Again, I apologize. I don't know if it's GL.KEN or DracKeN. I'm just going to call you DracKEN until you or someone else tells me otherwise. Now, the civs we have for us today are the Japanese, basically an infantry civ. They have access to all infantry units, all blacksmith, all barracks, upgrades, a archery range going down for our red Japanese, an archery range, and an beginnings of a wall off for our teal Tatar. Now, Japanese infantry do start attacking faster in feudal, 33% faster, and their unique unit is the samurai, which basically is an infantry unit with a lightning fast attack that specializes in killing other unique units. Now, their trebs can also be upgraded to fire faster and pack and unpack, and their towers can be upgraded to fire extra arrows. Now, like I said, their mills, their lumber camps, their mining camps all come in at 50% cheaper, so you do save a bit of wood as the Japanese in the earlier stages of the game, when wood is incredibly scarce, at least not in Empire's War, but in the standard random game. Now, the Tatars, unlike the Japanese who focus on infantry, these guys focus very much on mounted units. Cavalry archers come with extra line of sight, Parthian tactics, thumb ring for free. Some mounted units can be upgraded to get extra armor, and their unique unit is the Keshik, basically a cavalry unit that anytime it attacks an opposing unit generates gold, which in later stages of the game, when gold becomes more scarce, incredibly fun unit to watch, incredibly important unit to have in your arsenal if you are running low on gold and need gold. Now, once your army is out on the field of battle, very important for the Tatars to take this elevation, high ground, because in Age of Empires, any unit that is on the high ground does 25% more bonus damage, or rather 25% more damage, except that the Tatars do 50% more damage. So incredibly important for them to take the high ground. Oh, 2 ships passing in the night here. The scouts either missing each other or they don't care. They want to continue scouting. And that high ground bonus becomes even more important when you remember that the Tatars have one of the coolest Treb features / upgrades, Timorrid Siegecraft, which adds extra range to their Trebs, making them even more deadly. Now, their herdables do contain 50% more food, about 50% more food, and starting in Castle, each town center spawns 2 free sheep. So that's the state of affairs that we're on. Our Tatar player rushing up to Castle, 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes away. Our red Japanese opting to go for, I guess, military instead, although is ahead by 2 villagers, is ahead by 1 military unit. So he will go up a little bit later than his opponent will. Nili right now has the 800 food. We'll see that disappear any second now, and exactly. So only about 35-40 seconds behind his Tatar opponent. While these feudal armies do get settled, let's take a look at the infrastructure, see if we can divine what these players want to do. Japanese player going with 2 archery ranges. Our Tatar also 2 archery ranges, a market in the back, and the blacksmith and barracks that he started with. Nili being very aggressive here with these archers, managing to get a bunch of kills already, 2 kills to none, but does finally lose one of his archers. Not before taking out an archer of his opponent's, though. At the same time, GL..KEN has busted his way in, but where's he going to go? He's not going to walk into a bunch of town center fire here with these weaker feudal age units. Oh man, Nili is being so annoying, but at the same time, GL..KEN is being equally annoying. We'll keep an eye out and see which player is more annoying. For now, Nili, resting on the 2 extra kills that he had in the earlier stage of the game, is going to lose a scout. Yes, he is, and he's going to lose this archer once and for all. On the home front, he has defended well. The question is, how well? This scout is going to try to pick off this skirmisher. And our Tatar is first to castle. Let's see what he does with his advantage. Immediately getting economic upgrades, immediately getting ranged unit upgrades. So Bodkin will make these guys stronger, shoot farther. Think of it as the magic water from Space Jam. Makes you jump higher, makes you stronger, makes you play ball better. For now, we've got a bit of a ranged war here. Let's highlight, see the HP. Oh, pretty, bottom left of your screen, pretty pretty similarly damaged. But GL..KEN has to be careful. He is entering the defender's advantage here. Easier to reinforce, quicker to reinforce, with much healthier units. And now Nili manages to push him away. But GL..KEN, does he care? He's putting up another town center. Love this location. Defends this portion of the map, which otherwise would be very far away from any kind of villagers. Gets the gold, gets the lumber. Not a lot of room for farms, but just enough. Question is, will Nili give him an opportunity? He's moving forward with an army supply of 10, a market going up for him as well, and he is now finally as well joined his opponent in Castle Age. Villager count identical at 40, but just as I finish that sentence, it goes up to 41, and then now both players are at 41. Okay, military advantage here for Nili. Better army as well, I think. 5 archers, 4 skirmishers. Well, yeah, better by 1. Oh, and he lames. He lames the ibex. He lames the deer. Nili does not care who falls in the path of the Japanese aggression here. We'll get another villager. Might get a few more with these villagers clumped up near the gold here. But crossbows out for both players now. Elite skirmishers for Nili. I don't think, yeah, these are not elite with their wooden shields for our teal Tatar. Nili coming to the south with 3 skirmishers, but what are you really going to do with three skirmishers except be really annoying and try to distract your opponent and get them to micro more than they can? Scorpion now will be able to shoo this away. I've said it before, it's an interesting choice to go Scorpion. I mean, tell me what you think. I would prefer the Mangonel, but depends on resources, depends on your micro ability for now. 4 kills on this Tatari Scorpion. So who am I to say anything? More reinforcements coming across the map. A second town center going up for our Japanese player. A third for our Tatar, who now is significantly ahead of his opponent by about 10% more villagers. Nili in the back drawing out the Scorpion so that his next army does not have to face any kind of siege. The problem for him is that his opponent has walled himself off, and only 4 crossbows are not going to destroy those palisades very quickly. Okay, Scorpion missing. 3. Oh, I was going to say 3 in a row, but does catch the tip of the crossbow. Oh, yeah, you're attacking in archery range. Okay, not the greatest use here, but Nili being annoying. Now these skirmishers have managed to finagle their way into his opponent's base. More reinforcements streaming across the map, but these OG archers that became crossbows are trying to catch, I guess, reinforcements, or they're trying to just be annoying and catch some of these berry collectors, otherwise known as foragers. Okay, Nili's army is starting to get a little bit out of control here. 16 army supply to 7, but he's falling behind in civilian population. Does manage to get a third town center up. Not a terrible location. No secondary resource, but lots and lots of wood for him. 25, 26, 27. This is like an episode of Sesame Street here. 27 villagers on wood compared to the 20 of his opponent, but GL.DracKeN focusing more on food at the moment. Why? Because he's pumping out villagers at an unprecedented rate here. Oh, does manage to keep kill. How many kills? 7 kills on this one Scorpion. I may have to revise my opinion on early game Scorpions versus Mangonels. 7 kills, 1 kill on this guy, and now GL.DracKeN is the one being annoying at the back of his base, but he's going to find a university, he's going to find a house and a palisade and really nowhere to go, and the only thing he's going to find here is death, death, and death. So GL.DracKeN's expeditionary force no longer on this earth. All of his military aggression is now gone. He is solely focused on this Scorpion, and nothing else. He does not have a single military unit, but now he's ahead 11, 12 villagers. I hope we're setting up here for a nice big conflagration in the middle of the map on either side of the map. Doesn't really matter where it happens, as long as a bunch of big armies fight each other. You know, never ever a bad thing to see. Oh my god, he's going up to, what is that, 85 villagers to the 69 of his opponent. A 4th town center going up for our Tatars. Is our Tatar player investing a little too much in eco? Oh god, the beasts of the field have joined the fight and immediately die. Siege Workshop Mangonel coming out here for our red Japanese, who now outnumbers his opponent's military count by 650%. Love this, by the way. Spotting houses. Take a look at, I'm going to zoom out. Apologies to anyone on a smaller screen. Take a look at Red's map vision. He sees the back of his opponent's base. He sees the north of his opponent's base, the west, and now he's going to see the south of his opponent's base. You know GL.DracKeN is not going to come out through here. This is way too far off, you know, the beaten path. So you have vision of your opponent's entire base. What does your opponent have vision of? Literally nothing. Look at this. If an army came out of here, out of the darkness, out of the shadow, out of the fog, he would have no clue what that army is. And his 1 monk, his 2 Scorpions, and 1 random elite skirmisher are going to do bupkis about it. For now, though, is shooing away with his Scorpions. Still some pressure here in the back, but the villagers have had enough. Get the F out of our town, they say, and they brutally murder a crossbow. They brutally hack to death an elite spearman, and kudos to those villagers for defending the home front. Now this town center is under attack. Mangonels will slowly pick away, but knights are out, or rather a knight is out. One, I guess, was converted here by this monk. Do they have conversion stats, by the way? No, that would be a pretty cool thing for Capture Age to add, by the way. See how many converts each monk, each missionary has. In any event, neither here nor there. More mangonels, more knights streaming across the map. Nili putting on the pressure now. Will he get this villager? He should, especially if she keeps going back. Okay, not microed was that villager, so she dies. Another siege workshop, very, very forward facing here. 80, 90 villagers to 105, but our Teal Tatar is housed. He is supply blocked. I don't see any houses being built by him, so he needs to get on that ASAP. Will lose his own mangonel, but now the knights have entered into dangerous territory. They should both die, right? Like I always say, early castle, mid castle age knights without you know, full and final upgrades, let's say, if I can put it that way, town centers just wreck them. Not fast, but they do wreck them. Okay, Desperation Castle going down. 27 villagers pulled off the production line here, but doesn't matter. He's still 7 villagers ahead of his opponent. Now we've got our Tatar Castle. We've got Keshiks on the way. You love to see them. Very ballsy placement for a lumber camp here by Teal with 5 mangonels rushing to attack. But let's see with the Keshik. So far, he's dodging everything being thrown at him. Let's see if he can get this mangonel before he is no doubt taken down by these knights. Come on, 2 more. 1. Oh, is he going to get it? 1 more poke? No. Oh, yeah, no, he did. Sorry, he did. Oh, God, now the villagers are taking catapult fire here. We've got a bit of a fracas. Neither player really microing their units up here, which means this Scorpion will easily take out these skirmishers. The skirmishers to the south need to be reorganized here. They are accomplishing jack nothing. Oh my God, right as I'm talking about Nili's vision, I mean, he proves me right. What the heck? He is just seeing everything that's out on the map. Oh, his opponent going with the Keshiks has to be careful, though. Does not want to lose one. Skirmishers still not upgraded. Still basic skirmishers here for our Teal Tatar. Okay, I don't know where you think you're going. Oh, and thus ends the Scorpion Age for GL.DracKeN, who is a minute and 20 seconds away from Imperial, but a minute and 50 away is his opponent. Oh, Mangonel's exposed. Mangonel's exposed. 7 Keshiks come in. Beautiful pouncing, beautiful timing here by GL.DracKeN. He should be able to get rid of all these mangonels. Keshiks will pay the price, but once you've removed these guys, the town centers are basically safe. And now he runs away. Oh my God, 4 Keshiks for how many mangonels? And most of those Keshiks, by the way, died to knights. Poke, poke, poke. Get that gold up. 205, slowly going up, up as they poke and prod at their opponents. Villager comes out. Villager discovers this mini army here. More and more spotting houses going down for a red Japanese player who is, right as I'm about to say, 35 seconds behind his opponent to Imperial. Our Teal Tatar finally getting elite skirmisher conscription. His units will be created faster. Handcart, his villagers will move faster, carry more. Handcart actually going down for both players at almost the exact same time. Thumb ring for our Japanese. Remember, the Tatars get that for free automatically, as well as Parthian tactics. And take a look at the gold at the top right of your screen. 41, 42, 43, 44. Every time these guys attack, they just generate gold. But now we've got a Japanese castle. They have to retreat. They are not that oh God, they are not that strong that they can single-handedly take on a castle. But while this has been happening, knights in the back of the base here. Oh God, how many kills? 21 kills on these knights so far, and these villagers completely undefended. GL.DracKeN dropping the ball here, not moving them back. But we've got camels out. How many? 6 in the production tab. With the monk, with the Keshik, he is going to put up a tiny bit of resistance at first. He just does not have the military supply. He is also being attacked here, although here he's got a castle. Where are you going, camel? Turn around and go back. Nili is just multi-pronging the hell out of GL.DracKeN at the moment. Does get a treb up, but our Teal Tatar, that is an incredible tongue twister, has 2 trebs of his own. And my God, take a look at the villager kills at the bottom right of your screen. Our red Japanese killing 70 to 10. Incredible. And he's continuing to raid here. These knights are going unanswered. This reminds me of Game of Thrones when the mountain was sent to the Riverlands to, yeah, not surprising, to basically just cause a ruckus to kill as many civilians as he could. Oh, Lord. GL.DracKeN, I think, dropped the ball here. I love his infrastructure. I mean, at least the plan for the infrastructure. 6 archery ranges. Got only one stable. Okay, so that's a problem. Actually, I retract my statement. This one stable only, when you're trying to pump out camels, is very problematic. And DracKeN, who was ahead in villagers basically the entire game, all of a sudden just got raided and raided until his civilian population falls to 75. I think as a general rule, if you're an Imperial and your opponent has raided you so much that your population has dropped to 85, or let's say 80 or so and under, it's a good time to think about hitting that GG button, because you may not recover. Now take a look at the disparity in villagers. 43 difference. Basically, Nili has 50% or so. I'm not going to do the math in my head right now. 50% more villagers. He has just raided and surrounded to the south. This area is finally secured because a castle was there, but the castle maybe would have been better placed defensively, or at least some kind of wall off. This is what I was talking about earlier in Empire Wars. You don't start the game, trying to wall yourself off, although both players did initially. No wall off here to the north at all for our teal Tatar. Our red Japanese exposes that weakness, knows exactly where to go. He sees on his mini-map that there's a big clump of trees here, so he can suspect that there's a bunch of lumberjacks there, puts on the pressure, 2 trebs to 2, but castle with the high ground will beat castle in the low ground any day of the week. Knights are streaming out. Military is also ahead. Let's take a look at what? Arbalest. Okay. Did Teal see these guys? No, he hasn't seen them unless he saw them moving around, but I mean, the second he sees Arbalest, he's going to know that he's in trouble. Elite skirmishers, Knights, one random spearman from the feudal age, from the early stages of the game, still patrolling, still looking for something to kill, even though he's done literally nothing all game. Wow, what a fun game here by our Japanese and our Tatar players. Let's take a look at infrastructure. Yeah, look at this. We've got, sorry, I think I had an issue with my mic, a glitch here. 5 archery ranges, 4 stables, 2 siege workshops, and a castle. And our Tatar player, despite having 3 castles, 3, decides to tap out. Let's take a look at the stats here. 34 elite skirmishers, 15 Keshiks. I'm surprised that's the most he's built. APM, very relaxed game for DracKeN, a little bit less relaxed for Nili, although both of these peak APMs are in the early stages of the game. What do we do for relics? Nili gathered all 5 relics. Let's see if that gave him any kind of advantage, although 27.5-minute game, probably not. 1,100 gold. Without that, he'd still be ahead. Yeah, 3 castles need a lot of stone, so not surprising that our Tatar player has more stone, more food a little bit, and more wood going to Nili. So no real huge disparities here in the resources. Let's take a look at kill count. This is where it's going to be I think, the difference maker. So Nili, our red Japanese, has killed, what is this, only 44 of his opponent's military. Interesting, but 74 villagers. DracKeN, on the other hand, has killed 61, so a little bit more military, but he's only managed to, massacre, quote unquote, 10 civilians here. These knights, my God, they are the game difference makers. 74 villager kills in a 28-minute game. I mean, again, it's Empire's War. So basically, now that you've seen this game, Imperial Age at the 28-minute mark, you understand why some people, some players, some commenters online just love Empire Wars, because it avoids that what some people consider super boring, super slow Dark Age opening, 9, 10, 11 minutes of the game, where you're basically going from 3 villagers to 20, and you just start at 27, and then immediately you can pounce on your opponent. Immediately you can go start exerting yourself out onto the map. But, some of us still do like that random game, like I always say, Age of Empires is a game of accrual. Mistakes early on or smart moves early on do pay dividends, do hurt you later on in the game. A minute here, 2 minutes there, a missing upgrade, things like that do eventually harm you. And take a look what happened here, GL.Draken just gave up map control. He had a little army here for a while trying to bust its way in, and then he got his scorpions out and just started getting really defensive. I wonder if that's a scorpion thing. If he had a mangonel, if he would use that mangonel to be more aggressive. But GL.Draken really investing in his town centers. Remember, at one point he was ahead like 12 or so villagers, up to maybe 15 or more. But the rating, that's what made the difference here. Nili taking the big W with these civilian kills, 74 of them. But wow, what a fun game. GG to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.